So you're a new business owner and you want to know how to guarantee success in business. Well, you're in luck because this video will give you the 5 mental shifts you need to make sure that you can get your business off the ground and maintain success. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Now, first off, you need to understand that business is a game that is all about mindset and mentality. This is why both 15-year-olds and 60-year-olds can play the game of business, because as long as they have ideas in their mind and they're determined enough to do the work to make sure that they can see success, then they can start businesses. And even with the help of the internet today, even more and more young people, such as myself, are able to start businesses just because of our mentalities and our mindsets and the access to all the information we have. And the main reason why businesses either succeed or fail is based on their founders and co-founders and all the C-suites mindset. And that's because ultimately for a business to fail, the founders and co-founders must choose to give up at some point. However, for a business to succeed, the founders and co-founders must be disciplined enough and have the right mentality to do all the right steps, regardless of what it takes to get to success. And that is exactly why business is all about mentality. And to succeed in business, you're going to need to upgrade your mindset and change your mindset and adopt the mindset of those who have succeeded already. And since business is a game about mentality, until you get to the point of success, and even when you are at the point of success and you want more success, you're going to need to maintain an open mind. And the reason you need an open mind is because to get to the next level, you're going to need to change your actions. And to change your actions, you're going to have to change your beliefs, which is part of your mindset. And once you change your beliefs, you'll change your habits, which will then go in to change your actions, which will inevitably lead you to the success you want. And that's why it's so important to change your mindset first, because from your mindset, the actions will change. Because from your mindset, the actions will change, and then you can go on and get to the next levels of success. And yes, in case any of you are wondering, that is a principle from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is a very good book and I recommend to read. But it does talk about how changing your belief system can then change your habits, which will then change your actions and then obviously your results. The next mental shift you need to make to guarantee success in business is to become a student again. Because in the game of business, you need to learn a lot to get things right. And this comes from constantly reading about your industry and your business model, constantly being willing to learn about your industry and business model, even if that means buying expensive courses that will then give you an advantage over your competitors, and even just being receptive to the lessons that are going on while you're trying to get your business off the ground. And this is why you need to also stay humble, because you could learn a lot about business from anybody. And these could be people who have even failed in businesses, because as important as it is to know what to do in business, you also need to know what not to do in business. So that way you can guarantee success and stay far away from failure. And some evidence behind why it's so important to become a student is shown in the Harvard MBA graduates. A lot of these Harvard MBA graduates, such as Bill Ackman or Ray Dalio, gone to be billionaire hedge fund managers who are the top investors in the world because they were students for so long. And the quality of their education and the learning they had, obviously it helped them elevate themselves to levels far above the rest. The third mental shift you need to make to guarantee success in business is to increase your work ethic. And this means you got to be willing to work when you do not feel like it. Because I can tell you from personal experience, when you're starting off, especially if you're trying to bootstrap your company, which means to fund it yourself and finance it yourself, you got to hustle at the start to make sure that you can guarantee that your business can continue to run. Because even myself personally, at the weekend, I will have to go around the neighborhood and cut people's gardens just to generate the money so that I can then actually fund my real business, which I then hope to sustain over a long time and scale and grow and lead me to the point of financial success. And another reason why it's so important to increase your work ethic is because the more you work, the more you can actually internalize the lessons you learn. Because it's one thing to learn something through somebody telling you, but once you go through it yourself, you'll actually generally understand the lesson that person was trying to give you. And that's why increasing your work ethic is vital, because business just requires a lot of work to be done. Especially if you're a solo founder like me, you're going to have to do everything. You're going to have to be the marketing department. You're going to have to be sales. You're going to have to be the person actually delivering the service or product you choose to sell. You just got to manage the whole thing holistically and make sure that you are doing the work and not slacking off anywhere. Because if you slack off in one part of your business, it will reflect in other parts of your business. So just remember, increase your work ethic. If you think you're working hard, work harder. And this is true because we all know the saying, practice makes perfect. And it just shows that the more you work, the more you're practicing what you need to do, and the better you'll get. And then eventually your hard work will start to pay off and you'll see results for the good work that you can produce. Okay, so the fourth mental shift you need to make for success in business is to adopt the mentality of never giving up. Because one way to guarantee failure is to give up when things get hard. But by simply making the decision to never quit, you cannot lose. It is impossible for you to fail if you are still trying. And that's why never giving up is one of the most important things in business and in general in life. I mean, even for myself, this new venture which I'm pursuing, I've been doing it the last 5-6 months and I haven't actually seen any direct results, but I'm not giving up. I'm continuing, I'm putting in the work, still showing up every day and still putting in 110% effort to try and get to where I want to get to. And even YouTube is a perfect example of why you should never give up, because the founders of YouTube initially made YouTube a dating site. But once they realized that this was not going to succeed and this was a failing business model, they pivoted to making it a video sharing platform, which is obviously the massive business that it is today. And it just shows if they gave up then, we may have never had YouTube and you may have never seen this video. But thanks to them never giving up and then pivoting at a time when things were hard and they had to make a decision, which was a make or break, we now have YouTube and it's become the great platform it is that Google bought for about $1.65 billion. And lastly, and arguably the most important lesson to take from this video and the main mental shift that you need to make to guarantee success in business is to shift your mindset from worrying about the process to trusting the process. Because when you start off anything, you will not be good at it initially, just simply because you have no experience. And the truth is you probably don't know what you're doing, even if you have done a lot of research and you've actually studied it. But if you trust the process, over time you can get better and you can guarantee that over a long enough time, you will start to see results. That's where they're saying time in the market is better than timing the market, because once you're trusting the process and you're spending enough time in the market, the process of watching the markets move and just understanding what's moving it and what's causing it to go up and down will be enough to help you guarantee success. And that's why trusting the process is one of the main things you need to do, because you're not going to get better overnight. If business was easy, you would see a lot more successful business owners. But the fact is it's not easy, and you got to trust the process and you got to be patient with yourself and also with the work that you're doing, that it will yield results eventually. And it's funny because I used to hear Arsenal fans say that, and I used to think these lot are delusional. Arsenal's a dead team, they're never going to make a comeback. And even last year they finished second, which was a shock, but they're trusting the process, which shows that they're slowly getting better. But I think for Arsenal, it may take another 10-20 years for them to ever get close to winning a league title or something like that. So as long as you are trusting the process, you're continuing along this journey of trying to start your business, you're putting in the work every day, you agree with yourself that you will never quit, you are continuously learning, you're keeping your mind open to getting new information and new ideas from different people and learning lessons from others and from your environment, whilst accepting that your mental beliefs and your way of thinking may need to change to guarantee success, then I can guarantee that you will get there eventually. You just got to be patient with yourself and also the work that you're doing and really and truly trust the process. But the truth is, this isn't entirely what you need to guarantee success in business, because if it was this easy, a lot more people would be able to do it. And you're going to need a lot more of resources and people and mentorship to guarantee success in business, because it's not easy to do things on your own. Even though we have access to the internet and all the information in the world, if it was that easy yet again, everybody would be able to do it. But the truth is, you need a community, you need a mentor, and you need the right tools and resources. And that's exactly why I have put together the Business Beginners Group. It will be a group full of other new entrepreneurs who are starting their businesses for the first time, who are going to share their stories on how they're trying to get their business off the ground, what their business model is, and they're going to share their ideas and also tips and tricks and share the struggles that they've been through. And this was something I'll be hosting myself, so I'll be in that group. I'll be providing ongoing support to all the members. You guys can reach me by chat if you want to ask me any questions about business, any lessons around personal life around starting a business, or just anything in general that could help you get your business off the ground. But most importantly, I'll be giving you access to tools and resources that I use day in, day out to try and help myself see the best chances of success in my business. So I will be putting the link below in the description. You can go over there, you can join. Obviously there will be a small fee attached due to the value I'm providing you, and over time as the community grows and as I put in more tools and resources and it just becomes a better group in general, the prices will be going up. So right now is the cheapest time to get in, so don't waste any time, don't miss out on this opportunity to get in for a fairly cheap price, because over time the prices will go up. I hope this video taught you a thing or two and you can go away and internalize it. And other than that, I hope to see you in the Business Beginners Group.